Hi everyone, it's Dawn. I hope that you're all doing well. It's getting close to Christmas time and I've missed you guys. I'm off work for a little over a week. All my kids are coming home for the holiday. My boys are home from college already. They've been home for almost a week. And my daughter is flying in Tuesday morning. And then my other daughter, who lives just like 2 hours away, is coming home too. So I'll have a house full. I've been busy squirreling away my Christmas gifts and wrapping presents and watching Christmas movies and baking cookies and shopping for our Christmas Day meal and just preparing my heart for the holidays. I hope that you guys have all been doing the same and enjoying this season. I am so excited. I love Christmas time. We even have some snow, so that's exciting too. I don't mind snow around Christmas time. I just feel like it's the best time for snow. Once it gets to be like February, then I'm done. I'm like, oh, more snow, yuck. But anyways, I missed you guys. I've just been so busy working and getting ready for the holidays. It's been a couple of weeks, but I always want to make sure I get a video up at least every 10 days or 2 weeks until I can start, making more videos because I really enjoy it and I really miss you guys. I just feel like there's really space here on YouTube for women who are over 40 and 50. I'm 55. So I feel like we need more women like around this age, sharing the things that they use and that they love. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. So let's just jump in and I am gonna do a Chatty Get Ready with me. And I'm gonna be using some, moderate priced brands and some drugstore brands. And I hope you enjoy this. So I'm going to start by using my current favorite foundation, and this one is made by Profusion Cosmetics. I found mine on Amazon, and it's called the Feel Good Skin Long Wear Foundation, and it has an SPF of 15. It has hyaluronic acid in the formula. It's long wearing, and it's vegan and cruelty free, so it checks all the boxes, and it has like a satin finish, and it's like a medium coverage. You can use less to make it a lighter coverage, and of course you can build it up, and it doesn't look cakey if you build it up to make a more full coverage. But I really like this foundation a lot. It's the best foundation I've found in a long time, and like I said, it's only $7.99, so it's a really great foundation. It's not really runny. It's like this, and I use a sponge to pick it up and just kind of dot it around my face. My face has been a little bit broken out. I switched from my CeraVe moisturizing cream, the one in the big tub, to the Vanna cream. And I noticed immediately the Vanna cream has like a slightly more like oily finish after I apply it. I don't know if it has oil in it or anything, but I noticed that and I didn't really mind it. But since I made the switch, I've broken out. So I think I'm going back to the CeraVe. The CeraVe you put on, and it's a thicker moisturizing cream, but once you rub it into your skin, it doesn't really feel like you have anything on your skin, except that it really does moisturize very well. So that's like what I love. And I've recently added on the CeraVe Balm. I'll have to show that to you. It's a moisturizing cream that's kind of like a balm. Whoops. And I dropped my sponge. But I really like that too, especially the nights I've gone back to using my Retin-A like every third night. And I've been, I only use a 0.01%, so the lightest amount, the lightest concentration that you can use. And that's really good for my sensitive skin, and the balm really helps. So I love that. Okay, now I'm going to do my brows next, and I'm just using this Revlon. It's like one of these things. It's like the retractable, and it has a spoolie on the other end. So I'm just going to kind of brush my brows and fill them in, mainly using obviously the other side. And I kind of lengthen the tail a little bit. So are you guys all ready for Christmas? I am pretty much all ready. It's December 22nd, and my feeling is if I don't have something I need right now, then I probably don't really need it. I'm just sort of relaxing now. I've been wrapping gifts, listening to Christmas music. Last night, my husband and I was wrapping and we were watching Christmas with the Cranks. I love that movie. I always thought it was really funny. It has Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's like more appropriate now than ever because it's basically about a couple whose daughter isn't coming home for Christmas. She's going out of the country instead. So they decide that they're not going to celebrate Christmas and they are going to go to Jamaica instead. So they're going through all these rituals like tanning and getting Botox and doing all these different things. And their neighbors in their neighborhood, they decorate their houses like the same way every year. And they're all upset that they're not participating in Christmas. And it's just a whole bunch of hijinks and it's a hilarious movie. But it's appropriate now because my husband and I have grown kids. Our youngest is 18 and just went away to college. So we can totally relate. Like if our kids weren't coming home for Christmas, we would probably just go on a trip or something. So it's really funny and it's more appropriate now than it was when I first saw it back in like 2004. Another movie that I always really liked at Christmas time, I haven't seen it this year, but it's called The Family Stone. It has Diane Keaton in it and a bunch of other actors and actresses that you'll know. But it's a really cute movie. It's got some sad parts. It's got some funny parts. It's just a really good Christmas movie. I've never seen Love Actually. Can you believe it? Everybody loves Love Actually, but I've never seen it. Okay, so now that my brows are done, I am going to go in with one of my favorite Natasha Denona palettes. It's a little palette, and it's called the Starlit palette, and I love this palette so much. And this is what it looks like. It's got 1, 2, 3 matte shades and 2 like shimmery shades. This one is like a shimmer and this one is sort of like that crumbly type of shade that's sparkly. It's so pretty and this is really pretty around the holidays. It's pretty all year long. I get compliments not whenever I wear it, but often when I wear this palette. So I am going to go in with this shade first, and it's a matte shade, and I'm just using like a fluffy brush, and I'm going to put this all over in my crease. You have to be careful because these are very pigmented shades, so definitely go with a light touch. I often forget to even tap my brush because there's no fallout, so you don't have to worry about that. Maybe with a sparkly, crumbly shade, but if you apply it with your finger, it won't have any fallout. And I never have a problem with like the sparkles landing on my cheeks or anything like that. So I don't know if it's just my technique or it just isn't doesn't have fallout. So I am just gonna really kind of buff this in, just like past my brow bone. And I'll put a little more on this side. So are you guys all ready for Christmas? You'll have to tell me what movies you like to watch. I know we all love like Miracle on 31st Street and It's a Wonderful Life and a lot of those classics, but are there any more recent movies that you love? For a long time, I was stuck watching children's Christmas movies because I was raising 4 children. So now I'm getting kind of back into watching adult movies, like 4 Christmases is cute. Let me think, what else do I really like at Christmas time? I'll have to think about that. But I've always loved Christmas time. I've always loved Christmas time because my birthday has always fallen like right before Christmas. And it's always been a special time of year for me. And I met my husband, let me think, it was like a September or October. So we were like falling in love at Christmas time. Like by the time Christmas and the holidays rolled around, we decided to spend the holidays together. So that was really special. And then when I got married, I wanted a Christmas wedding, not a Christmas Day wedding, but around the holidays after. But it was really hard to find some place that would marry us. Well, we could get married. We could find the church. It was my hometown church. but we couldn't find like a reception hall because of Christmas parties, Christmas gatherings, New Year's parties, and so on. But we did end up finding a beautiful place, but we booked it for January 3rd. So my wedding anniversary is January 3rd. A lot of people are like, who gets married in January? But it really saved a lot of money on flowers too. That wasn't my purpose, but it did, because we had a lot of poinsettias and beautiful Christmas arrangements on the tables. And there was a big Christmas tree with lights still in the chapel where we got married. And it was just beautiful. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. And back when I got married, you know, we wore like almost like a ball gown. Not everyone did, but somebody had said to me, during your life, you'll be able to wear a fitted dress, like sleeveless, a really kind of sexy dress, but when will you be able to wear a ball gown? So I took that to heart, and I did have, it was like fitted on the top, and it had long sleeves, and it was like off the shoulders, but it also just, you know, kind of, you know, it had like a sort of a ball gown. It had a big train on the back. I loved my dress. So that was around Christmas time too. I'm kind of going wild here with the sparkles. I didn't even realize, but there's none falling out, and I did use the brush and my finger. So that is what I'm doing. And now I'm going to take this darker shade here, and I'm just going to build up the outer corner to add some definition. And kind of just use a circular motion and blend it on the outside of my eye. So anyways, so that is my Christmas, why I love Christmas so much. I still love Christmas. I guess my best Christmas ever, of course, childhood Christmases are wonderful always, but my best Christmas ever is probably that Christmas that my husband and I fell in love around Christmas time, and it was just such a beautiful time. Okay, now I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible eyeliner. I really love this eyeliner a lot. It's a waterproof eyeliner, and I like to use this to do the inside of my waterline. It's a really nice dark black, and I like to push it up into my lashes. And sometimes I use a liquid liner too. And sometimes I just do this. And let's see. Let's go ahead and put on a little liquid eyeliner. I just got this and I really like it a lot. It's from Lancome and it's the Art Liner, and this is in black. They used to make this in a lot of different colors, like green and blue and brown and bronze, but now I think they only make black, like a cobalt blue and a brown. But I used to purchase it in like different colors years ago, and I remembered I liked it, so I picked up a new one. I'm not really gonna do a wing. I'm just gonna do like the teensiest bit, like right outside my eye, because I have like some crinkles here, and I've been finding that when I do a wing, it just kind of gets lost in those crinkles. So I'm not going to do that anymore, I don't think. Unless I ever get like a blepharoplasty. Oops, I made a mistake. I'll fix that. A blepharoplasty someday. But I don't know if that would help that. And I wouldn't do it. So my eyeliner looks nice. My mom has always wished she'd done one because she's got really heavy lids. We already have deep set eyes. I look just like my mom. We already have deep set eyes. And our lids, you know, are kind of like obscured. But as my mom has gotten older, you know, she's got the skin here just sitting right on top of her eyelid. And the doctor told her, her eye doctor told her she should get a blepharoplasty. And she talked about it and thought about it, but then she never did it. And it's kind of funny because I told her the other day, I'm like, you missed the window. I said, I think there's like a window of time where you're either going to do it or you're not. She's 80 and she's in really good shape. She walks every day. She lifts weights. She's just like so good at taking care of herself. But I'm like, you're old now. Why would you do that? And she's like, well, why not? And that's a good point. You know, I'm like, kind of like, oh, don't you just kind of give up on yourself after a certain point? But that just isn't true. I don't think people ever just give up on them. Well, some people do, but I think a lot of people, you always want to look pretty and you always want to be able to, you know, open your eyes without having skin there. I've always thought like the window is like the age I am now, like 55 to like 70, and if you miss the window, why bother? But I guess that's silly. That's silly thinking. I feel like you should do it if you need to do it. Okay, I really love this. It's the Buttermelt Blush from NYX, and I've got a really good color. It's just such a great pink. It's called For the Butter, like butter. And I also have it in a couple other colors. I have it in a different pink. It's like a brighter pink. This is the one I'm going to use. It's like a softer pink. I also have one that's kind of like peachy, and it looks like this. After I purchased the first one, which I think was the one I just showed you, the brighter pink, I love it so much that I went and got the colors that I knew I'd wear. And they're all pretty different from each other. They're very pigmented, so you need to use a really light touch. After I pick some up on my brush, as you can see, I kind of just like tap it off on a tissue because it's so pigmented. And I've gotten myself in trouble before where I've used too much, like even now, it's like too much, and you have to spend a lot of time blending. I do like a lot of blush, but I don't like to look like a clown. And I do powder a little bit over it, but I'm gonna use my Beauty Blender sponge with my foundation on it, the remnants of my foundation, just to kind of make sure it's not too much. I'm gonna use my favorite bronzer, and it's the NARS Cream to Powder Bronzer, and this is in Laguna 1, the lightest shade. When they first came out with this, they only had like Laguna, and it was like a one shade, but it's so popular that they released lots of different shades, like Laguna 1, then Laguna 2, Laguna 3, and so on. So I have the lightest one. I just pick it up on like a brush that's suitable for applying bronzer, and I like to hit like the top of my head. I don't really contour with it. I do hit a little bit here and a little bit on my nose, and then just right here. So it's kind of like I'm contouring, but I'm not really. It's so light. I'm really just adding a little bit of color to my face so that I don't look too pasty, and this definitely does the trick. And if I had to get only one bronzer for the rest of my life, it would be this one. Okay, I guess I should put on some mascara. I'm like, something's missing as I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, I know, my eyes are not finished. And I'm going to use my favorite mascara. I like tubing mascaras because I can work out in them, and you know, they never run or anything like that when you sweat. But this one doesn't really either, and it's one I've loved ever since it came out. It's the Sky High from Maybelline. It's really affordable. It does come in a pink tube or this black tube, and the black tube is Cosmic Black, which is a little bit even deeper and darker than the black that comes in the pink tube. So that's the only difference. I like the pink tube also in black, but I like the Cosmic Black better. So I just ordered this. It's a fresh new tube. My other one was all gone. This is like the only mascara that I think I've ever used to the very bottom. Besides when I was younger and I didn't collect a lot of makeup. I lost my train of thought because I'm concentrating on my eyes. I used to use all my makeup all gone. It was horrible. It would get like crushed and broken in my little cosmetics kit, and everything was a mess. But by golly, I was going to use every single bit of it. But as I've gotten older and have had more, you know, a job and money, I have been buying a lot of makeup over the past few years. And especially when I started my YouTube channel back in 2017, I started buying a lot of makeup, way more than any one person needs. I have been kind of purging my collection though. I held on to a lot of makeup that I really wasn't using anymore. I wanted to show you something else. So this comes with a primer, and it looks like this. And it's a Sky High primer. It's really, really nice. It goes on black instead of white, and I really like it a lot. It's kind of strange though, because once you put this on, it's almost like you already have your mascara on because it's black. And it reminds me if you were to use this alone, it reminds me of the Lancome Definicils, where it just sort of gives you nice, long, dark lashes, but it doesn't really add volume, and it doesn't really add, it just like sort of separate and add a little bit of length, in my opinion. And then when you put this over it, it just adds like the volume. But I can take or leave it. If I want to spend a lot of time on my makeup and make sure everything's perfect, I'll use the primer, but normally I'll just use the mascara like I did today. I don't think it's necessary. So anyways, I wanted to tell you guys, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Unhinged. I've talked to you about it when I first saw it, and it's a movie about a man who something bad happens to him, and he loses it and kind of goes off the deep end. And the movie is kind of like what happens after that. It's actually a pretty decent movie. My kids liked it, and I liked it when we saw it. But the point is, and they even have like a disclaimer kind of thing at the end of the movie about being kind to everyone, because you never know what someone's going through, and basically a warning of how stressed out people are. And it gives statistics. I think the statistics are at the beginning, but at the end, it's kind of like, be nice to everyone. You never know what people are going through, and you might be messing with the wrong person just because you are like, oh, I'm, something small. But it reminded me of a story a friend just told me. This happened to her neighbor. It didn't happen to my friend. Okay, so while I tell you this, I'm going to use like a little smudger brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of the deeper shade that I have on the outside and a teeny bit of the sparkle shade, and I'm just going to run this along my lower lash line, just mainly on the outside. I really don't want to darken up inside. Okay, so my friend was just sharing with me that her neighbor went to the grocery store. And when she was sitting in her car, she pulled into the parking lot, and when she was sitting there, she noticed a man in the parking spot in front of her looking at her and glaring at her, just giving her like a death stare. And she was kind of like, okay, that's really weird. I don't know why he's looking at me like that. Okay, now I'm just gonna take the NARS matte concealer. I love this. It's such a good concealer, especially if you kind of deal with a little bit of darkness right here like I do. I don't really have dark circles, but what I do have is sort of like, especially when I'm tired, a little bit of like blue from my veins or whatever, shadows shines through. And this is really nice, and you can really build it up, and it doesn't look cakey and it doesn't crease. So this is a really good one. So anyhow, she's like, this man is staring at me. I don't know why he's staring at me. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. I'm just gonna go over my brows with Air Brow just to make this video a little bit longer. It just kind of sets them. I want it to be longer so I can finish talking to you guys. So anyways, she's like, I feel really uncomfortable. So she was thinking about leaving, but then she saw a car pull in next to her, and a woman got out and started walking in the store, and she thought, okay, I'm gonna get out of my car and I'm gonna walk into the store with her because there's safety in numbers. And she noticed that the man put his phone up and started filming her. So she's just walking along, and she looks behind her, and sure enough, he's like filming her, and she's very uncomfortable. So she goes into the store, and she goes through like the first portion of her shopping, and she's like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable with this at all. So she goes back outside when people were going outside. She made sure, and she saw that his car was still there, but he wasn't in it. So she took a picture of his license plate and the make and model of his car, and then she went back into the store and finished her shopping. And then when she came out, let me do the next step. I'm going to use a little tiny bit of the Makeup Forever HD powder. This is the very best powder, you guys. It is HD, so when you take photos, especially around the holidays and stuff, it doesn't have any flashback, and it has silica in it, and I think the silica is what gives it that, so it doesn't have flashback. And I just like to do a little dusting, and it doesn't leave my skin looking dry or anything like that. It's just a really beautiful powder. I really like to use this brush. It's like such a big fluffy brush, And I like to use this brush. I'll link it in the description box in case you're looking for a big fluffy powder brush. That one's the best that I've tried. Okay, so anyways, she goes back into the store, she finishes her shopping, and when she comes out, his car is gone. And so she is happy about that, obviously. Okay, I'm just going to do a little lip liner, and this is in French Rose from Milani, and it's just a beautiful sort of nude rose, and it's retractable. I really like this a lot. I've had it for a while. I hope Milani hasn't discontinued it. I really, in terms of drugstore, I really like the Milani lip liners, and I love the L'Oreal Infallible retractable liners. I don't really like the pencil ones so much, but if I was going to use one, I really love the Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk. I love this. It goes with just about every lipstick that I wear, but I really like this one too. It's creamy and it's really nice. I did get my lip filler done again, you guys. It's a little bit swollen still. I try to keep it very natural, and I just get half a syringe of Juvederm Volbella. That's the only one that comes in a half syringe. And I always tell her that I want my Cupid's bow to stay exactly as it is, because when you put some here and you lose your Cupid's bow, that's when your lips start to look like there's like a tire, or, you know, it just gives everybody's lips look the same then. Your Cupid's bow, I think, is what kind of distinguishes your lips, plus the size of your lips. But I really like the my Cupid's bow to show. And so she kept that. She did exactly what she did like 3 years ago when I got my lip filler done. I did make a video about that. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description box. And it was my very first experience getting lip filler. So if you're thinking about it, it might be helpful. And so what she does is she uses like the half syringe, and she puts half here and half here. And if there's any left over, she'll put in the bottom. But my bottom lip is considerably like fluffier or plumper than my top lip. So it just sort of balances them out. And I like that. But another thing I really like is if you have any kind of vertical lines around your lips, it puffs them out. And so you don't have them anymore. They go away. And the Volbella lasts years. I'm not even kidding. The first video that I made, that I'm going to link if I can find it, that was when I got it done, and that was like 3 years ago. So I just got touched up for the first time, and everybody said, oh, you don't really need it. You don't really need it. But what I found was that, and if you look at my last video that I put up, I did not have it then. But you can look and see how my lips look with it kind of dissolved. But what I found is that I did still have, like, I've always had kind of you know, like plumper lips, not overly so, but I've always had plump lips. And what I've found is that as I've gotten older, this one sort of seemed to flatten out more or something like that. But that's true for the filler too. I found that the filler, as it dissolved, it just sort of flattened out. I don't know that it totally dissolved. So I was concerned about going in and having more placed on top, that my lips would just get bigger and look silly. But she said that it was pretty dissolved. So she went ahead and just topped it off, doing the exact same thing I did 3 years ago. So the Volbella lasts a very, very long time. I think it's worth the investment to get that half syringe, which was $360. And then you only do it like whenever, it's like a little over $100 a year is what it boils down to. So totally worth it in my opinion. If you're thinking about it, she puts this cream on my lips that totally numbs my lips. Like, it's almost like Novocaine. You just cannot feel anything. So it doesn't hurt at all. The only thing I can feel is like, I know she's, like I can feel her touching, and I feel like it should hurt. And it's kind of weird that it doesn't. So anyways, off topic. Let me finish putting this on, and then I'll finish the story. So my friend's friend came out of the store. The car was gone, and she went to get into her own car, and she noticed there was something all over the side of her car. She didn't know what it was. It looked disgusting, and it was all over her car. So she called the police, and the police came, and she explained the situation, and she gave the police the man's license plate number and make and model of his car. And of course, then they could track him down. So they did. And when they tracked him down, listen to this. I mean, it's like Unhinged, like that movie. You never know what someone's going through. It's like you could be living your life and have no clue that you did something to someone else. He was in a parking place and he wanted to pull forward into that spot. So he was facing, so he'd just pull right out then. And as he was getting ready to do that, she pulled in, so he couldn't go forward. And that is what caused this whole thing. And he said that, yeah, that's why I did it. And he vomited all over the side of her car. That part has me kind of scratching my head because I'm like, he can vomit on command? But then I'm like, maybe he was drinking. I don't know. But that happened. And I thought, ugh, people are so stressed out and they get angry over the silliest things. Okay. Clinique has repackaged their lipsticks and they're in a green tubing, not the green that we know and love from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, maybe even 2000s. Then they repackaged everything and they didn't use the green packaging anymore, which made me sad because that's nostalgic. You know, I loved the Clinique green packaging. Well, they are using the green packaging again, except that now it's like kind of metallic and shiny. It's really pretty. And they repackaged their pop lipsticks in the green packaging. Mine is not in the green packaging. I have the old packaging and this is what it looks like. And they did repackage it in the green and I will definitely repurchase this one because I love it. These are really nice. They're long wearing, satin finish, and they feel so good on your lips. When you go to purchase one, if you're going to do that, some are mattes, and when you go onto like the website or Ulta or your department store, it'll have all the colors, and as you click on them, it'll tell you if it's a matte or like a cream satin formula. So be aware of that. So if you think you're getting a creamy one that's more satin, you might be getting a matte, so just pay attention to that. I can't wait to buy one in the green packaging though. It's so silly, but I do love these, so it wouldn't be just because of the packaging, although, you know, it does definitely tempt me into purchasing another one. This is Nude Pop, and Blush Pop is on my list. I think that's the one I want to get in the green packaging. But I love this. It's so pretty. And it is a nude, but it really kind of isn't. That's what it looks like. It's a pinky nude, and you know me and my pinks. I'm just always going to love my pinks. Isn't that pretty? And it's so cushiony on your lips. And I apply it, and if I forget it at home and I go through my day, I don't even feel like it really wears off. If I ate like a greasy meal or something for lunch, it would, you know, I'd be wiping my lips a lot. But other than that, I feel like it lasts and lasts and lasts. Really nice. I had a tiny bit of highlighter, and this is Pink Diamond from Anastasia. I really like these. I have the blush in a couple different colors, and I have this. They have a little brush on the side if you like a brush, and then they have the retractable product, and this is called Pink Diamond, and it's really nice. I'm just going to touch the tops of my cheeks and just sort of tap that in just to add a little glow, because that blush doesn't really have a glow. Put a little on my nose and Cupid's bow, and I'm going to take a little on my finger and just tap the inner corner of my eye. I like to have that little sparkle in there. And that is it. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope to see you before the new year. Maybe I can do a dramatic makeup look for the new year. That's my plan if you're interested. Other than that, I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.